How's it going, guys? Anton here. Welcome to my draft recap video. In this video, I will be stating my 3 winners, my 3 losers, and my 3 steals of the draft. Let's get on with the video. Although they didn't really make any moves during the draft, and they didn't take a steal, it's Markelle Fultz. We're going to be seeing a big 3 in the future of Fultz, Simmons, and Embiid. People were wondering what the hell the Celtics were doing when they traded down for the 3rd pick. But I honestly think it worked out for both teams. The Celtics wouldn't have utilized Markelle Fultz, plus they got a trade asset in another pick next year. But for the Sixers, who are one of the biggest winners in this draft, well done, you have a very bright future. I was watching the draft during school because in Australia, the games usually happen at around 11 AM my time. So when I saw Jimmy Butler got traded to the Timberwolves, I had to pinch myself. We're going to be seeing another big 3, but this time in Minnesota, of Butler, Wiggins, and Towns. The Timberwolves absolutely robbed the Bulls. They could be a playoff team next year. Definitely not high, but between 6 and 8 I'm expecting. The fact that they also managed to get the 16th pick out of the Bulls in the trade as well, that just topped it all off. All in all, a great day for the Timberwolves, and I look forward to seeing them next year. I was shocked at how well the Kings actually did during the draft. At number 5, they selected De'Aaron Fox, as most of us were expecting. But they went on an absolute tear after trading away their 10th pick to the Trailblazers. With the 15th pick, they selected the wing they needed in Justin Jackson. He's going to be a great scorer for them in the future. They got the possible steal of the draft in Harry Giles. A couple years ago, he was projected the number 1 pick, but because of injuries, he slid down to 20th. If he can have a healthy career, he's going to leave teams wondering why they didn't select him. And to top it all off, they got Frank Mason, the NCAA Player of the Year, with the 34th pick. Although he was projected around that area, he showed great leadership during the year, and I think he'll be a valuable asset and backup for De'Aaron Fox. But along with those 4, we've also got Buddy Hield, Skal Labissiere, and Willie Cauley-Stein. I think the Kings are just about to get over the hump. But now, on to the 3 losers of the draft. Starting off, it has to be the Chicago Bulls. Although I think they made the right decision in trading away Jimmy Butler, I think they could have gotten something extra than just Kris Dunn, Zach LaVine, and the 7th pick. You had chances for the past year and a half to trade him, but it's too late now, and it seems like the decision was a bit rushed. The Celtics could have been a good option, but it's going to be fun to see Butler paired up with Coach Tibbs next year. Although Kris Dunn had a somewhat disappointing year last year, people forget that he was just a rookie. He was only getting 18 minutes per game, and behind Ricky Rubio as well. Zach LaVine may have torn his ACL last year, but he still has a bright future. But with their 7th pick in Lauri Markkanen, I'd say there's a 50% chance that he's going to be a bust. I can't see him being an all-star, maybe a valuable starter to a team, but no more. I'm only putting the Knicks on this list because there had to be 3 teams. To be honest, I don't think there were really any losers in the draft. Sure, there were bad decisions, but all in all, it was a pretty positive draft for all teams. I was praying that the Knicks were selecting Dennis Smith from NC State, but they selected Frank Ntilikina out of France. I like him as a player, it's just the only downside is I don't think he's going to be good enough to play in New York. The fans there are some of the most passionate in the country. I just don't think he'll live up to the bright lights in New York City. I feel like Dennis Smith would have been the perfect fit there, and he's the only reason why I think the Knicks could have done better. Although Ntilikina could turn out to prove us wrong, Paula Porzingis, but I think it's the same with Lauri Markkanen. There's a 50% chance that he's going to be a bust. Again, I can't see him making All-Star, but he could be a valuable starter for the Knicks in the future. I was very confused to see the Nuggets select Donovan Mitchell with the 13th pick. There were a few good power forwards, which was the one position they needed around that area, but they brought in Donovan Mitchell to an already crowded backcourt, but they traded him to the Jazz for the 24th pick and Trey Lyles. I just think that is a terrible trade for the Nuggets. They should have either taken maybe John Collins straight up, or traded the 13th pick before the selection got to them. Although I think Donovan Mitchell could be an exciting player to watch next year, I just think the Nuggets made the wrong decisions in this draft. They just could have done a lot better. But now, onto my 3 steals of the draft. Although it was a somewhat high pick in the lottery, Malik Monk fell to the 11th pick. At one point, he was projected to go 3rd. He is probably the best 3-point shooter and is very athletic. The one downside to him is his height, as 6'3" is not going to do much justice for you if you're a shooting guard in the NBA. Sure, we've seen it work with players like Monte Ellis and Allen Iverson, but they had completely different play styles. But Malik Monk is honestly such a great player, so much fun to watch last year, especially with the pairing of De'Aaron Fox. And now that the Hornets acquired Dwight Howard, we could be seeing some fun basketball in Charlotte next year. A starting lineup of Kemba Walker, Malik Monk, Nicholas Batum, Frank Kaminsky, and Dwight Howard would probably bring some playoff basketball to Charlotte, but we'll just have to wait and see. With the 21st pick in the draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder selected Terrence Ferguson. Although he was projected around this area, I just think he fits in perfectly with what the Thunder are trying to do. He is a perfect 3-and-D player, which is what the Thunder needed out of this draft. Although he might not start over Andre Roberson, I think he'll be a fantastic producer off the bench. I've seen some of his highlights that he showed us from Australia, and wow, he's basically a mixture of Terrence Ross and Zach LaVine. I think the only reason why he was predicted 21st or around that area is because he didn't go to college and just went straight to professional basketball in Australia. If he went to Arizona like how he was supposed to, he'd have a chance of being a lottery pick. I believe the only reason why he was taken so late is because of the injuries that he's dealt with, but OG Anunoby with the 23rd pick is flat out ridiculous. He showed his great skills in his year with Indiana, and like Harry Giles, the only reason why he was left so late is because of injuries. But like Terrence Ferguson, I think he fits in perfectly with what the Raptors are trying to do. If the Raptors can re-sign Kyle Lowry, we could see a lineup of him, DeMar DeRozan, OG Anunoby, Serge Ibaka, and Jonas Valanciunas next year. They could reach the Eastern Conference Finals, but the Raptors are just one of those have-to-wait-and-see teams. But if they have a healthy year, they could possibly be the 2nd or 3rd seed in the East. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Tomorrow will be my awards predictions, so stay tuned for that and see you tomorrow.